What's up, witches? What's up? What's up? Hey, guys. Hi, Joey. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Eddie. Hi, Josie. Hi, Betty Boop. Hi, Anthony. What is going on? Yeah, you guys are talking about the weather. It is hot as balls. You guys know I already have my Coach fan down here for my activated hot sacral situation. But I have other fans on too. I usually also have the AC on, but I turn it off because I don't want it to be too loud. So, but as we get deeper into the summer, I might have to, Hi, guys. What's up? What's up? How are we? What's going on? Hot as balls. Yeah, it is very hot. Very hot. I don't do well in the heat at all. I prefer the fall and even the winter. I like inclement weather. I like storms, clouds, dreary days, anything where I can pretty much make sure that I'm not going to be sweating. I'm happy. I don't like to sweat. That's my least favorite part about the heat. I just can't. So I'm an AC type of person. And then the heat brings mosquitoes. Look at my mosquito bite, guys. That's one mosquito bite. I have another one over here. I am super allergic to mosquito saliva. So I get terrible mosquito bites. You can't even really see how swollen it is. It goes like all the way over. But every bite that I get is like a serious situation. It gets really, really swollen, and it usually lasts for a couple of weeks, and it often leaves a scar. So it's a really big deal. So I hate the heat because, as soon as it gets warm, it's immediate. Like I went to my best friend's baby shower. We held it at our other best friend's home in her backyard, and no one else got mosquito bites as far as I know. Or maybe later in the night they might have after I left, but I was the first one to get bit, of course. So, what can you do? Thank you. Yeah, I've dealt with it my whole life, so I've gotten much better at it. When I was a kid, it was a real issue because, no one takes you to the doctor for unnecessary things. So when you're poor. So no one ever took me to the doctor to find out why my mosquito bite situation was so worse than everybody else's. So I just got, I just had to power through. Can you imagine being 7, 8 years old, hot Charleston heat, 100 degrees, 80% humidity, and having to sit in a church with stockings on while your blistered legs stick? My mosquito bites would itch, and as a kid, you don't have the willpower to not scratch them. So I would scratch them, and they would turn into these really awful blisters that would burst and drip, and it was really bad. And I would have to wear tights to church. My mother would make me, because God forbid we don't follow the fucking church rules of a girl in stockings, right? So I had to wear stockings, and the stockings would stick to the wet blisters. And when I would get home, I'd have to take them off and reopen the blister, taking the stockings off. But for Jesus, right? Torture your children for Jesus, right? Because somewhere in the Bible it says a little girl can't not wear stockings so she could, God forbid, be a little bit fucking comfortable, right? Nonsense. But anyway, rub Vicks behind your ears or wherever. Grandma said it helps for mosquitoes. I'm sure Grandma said Vicks helped for a lot of things that Vicks isn't made for. That being said, Vicks helps with a lot of shit, quite frankly. I've tried everything, though. All of those homeopathic things I've tried. I've done the Vicks. I've done the toothpaste. Someone on an airplane once told me regular white toothpaste would dry them out, stop the itch. I've tried garlic oil, wearing garlic oil and just smelling awful. Didn't matter. They got me anyway. I've done the DEET. I've done the non-DEET. I go organic. I go non-organic with the repellents. I do citronella. I do eucalyptus. I do it all. It doesn't matter. I have an allergy. So it's not really about a topical treatment. What I really need is, thanks, Cliff. Thanks for all of the topical homeopathic remedies, rosemary, lavender. I've tried it all, honey. Thanks. Okay. As someone who works with herbs, I know at certain points people just have issues that require heavy medication because they have chronic or acute issues that are not like everybody else's. It's okay. I know you're trying to help, but 35 years of the struggle, you're not going to be able to recommend an herb or some random treatment that I haven't heard of, I don't think. So I'm not stopping you from mentioning them, but this is why I'm not receiving it. I've tried it all. What I do need is to go to an allergist and get a prescription or find out if there's some type of a shot that I can take for like a quicker response time. But I don't necessarily want to have to get a shot every time I get a few bites or anything like that. So unfortunately, I just have to deal with it. House mold. Wow, that's a hard thing to be allergic to. Yeah, because it's like, how do you get rid of it? I think that's like a common thing, right? Thank goodness it's not like one of the really bad molds, like black mold or something. I think house mold everybody kind of has, right? You're allergic to almonds, but not almond trees? Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, so that's my struggle. But anyway, if I look swollen and blotchy and stuff, that's why. Mosquito bite season, But anywho, I just got like way into my mosquito things and didn't even say hi to everybody. Most of you guys are familiar faces. I see some new names in the room, so I should say hello. I am Allie, aka BronxWitch, and this is the live weekly tarot reading only on YouTube. We do this every week. We started at the beginning of quarantine, March 2020, and now we're like a year and a half in, and we're loving it. We come together every week to check in with each other, catch up, talk about how last week affected us, talk about how the energy in the atmosphere, astrologically or otherwise, might be affecting us, just what's going on in our day. Drop a comment down below about what you are drinking. I'm a big fan of herbs, so I usually have a big 32-ounce something going on. So drop in the comments what you are sipping on. If you haven't already gotten a drink and you're thinking to yourself, ooh, I don't want to step away because I don't want to miss the reading, don't worry. We're going to be here for a while. So go ahead, get that drink, get that snack, roll something up, get comfortable, because we are going to go through the entire upcoming week, the 19th through the 25th. We're going to pull cards from several different decks in order to get a really thorough, well-rounded view of what we can expect from the week, what the energies hold for the week, what we maybe want to be working on, and things like that. And if you are not able to stay or anything like that, don't worry. I do try to save them and post it. You can always come back to it. But for those of you who are able to stay for a while, I recommend taking notes because we are going to talk about stuff that maybe hasn't even come up for you just yet. And when you get to Friday, Saturday of the week, it'll be nice to have your notes about what cards came up, what messages came up, things like that. I know a lot of the members, a lot of the regulars take notes and they say it's helpful. So I definitely recommend it. Okay. Josie's having water and lemons. Hi, Ashley. Hey, welcome. It's great to have you. Betty Boop's having mint ginger tea. Tummy's off today. You know what is so funny? I almost made a tea too because my tummy's feeling kind of weird too. But it was just too hot and I had tea this morning. My kids just yelled chocolate milk. Oh, God, I used to love chocolate milk as a kid. Loved it. Mariah's out of my smokes. Hey, we got to re-up. We got to get you re-up. So you might join Ashley on the wine train. Very nice. Ashley's got Chardonnay. Hi. Water, smoking a blunt before filming this wig tutorial. Ooh, nice. Yes, film and watch. Why not? You know what I'm saying? double task, get 2 things done at once. Raspberry sun tea. Wish you could have it with a joint though. Mint tea. Just placed my order yesterday. Oh, that's right. I did see your order. Yes. I'm going to get you that crystal pipe. Yeah, you're going to love it. It's really nice, especially if you are sensitive to crystal energy at all. You'll definitely feel a difference. My husband has the fluorite pipe and he will not smoke out of anything else now. So, yeah, you'll definitely enjoy it. Hi, Caleb. How are you? Hello to you. All right. So for those of you who don't know how we do things, a couple things that you might want to know. We will get into the reading eventually, but we're first going to talk about some announcements. I'm going to let you know about some things going on with me, some things going on with my shop. I'll keep it brief. And then we'll talk briefly about astrology. Because as above, so below. I'm not an astrologer, so this won't be an astrology reading or an in-depth overview of the astrological transits this week or anything like that. I linked in the description box a few of the astrologers that I follow, so you can watch their full-length videos about the week and all of that. But I am just going to briefly touch on what's happening with the sun and the moon because I feel those things really affect me in my life. And if you have been here for a while, then you already know this, but what you'll see is that what happens in our cosmos almost always shows up in the reading in some way anyway. So we might as well talk about it and talk a little bit about, what those energies might mean for you. And then we'll get into the reading. So if you're just joining in and you want to get yourself comfortable or anything like that, then you have time. Don't you worry. Let me get my journal. Oh, of course. Do any of the smokes have a sweet taste? Sweet taste. I wouldn't say that any of them have a sweet taste. I would say some of them have a more floral taste. It's more like flowery. So you might want to look at Doing It, which is very floral, but very earthy and sexual. It's for arousing your libido and your stamina. It's great to smoke with a special loved one or something like that. Get your juices flowing. Solstice, which is the newest blend, is very flowery. She's for the summer. Chamomile is in season and in abundance, as is calendula. So she's got chamomile, calendula, clipdaga, which is a beautiful flower from South Africa, and mullein. So she's really nice and floral. Wusa is very floral as well because she's heavy on the lavender. So if you like lavender, and some people find lavender to be kind of sweetish. So if you like lavender, then definitely Wusa might be your choice. But yeah, I don't know that any of the smokes are sweet per se. Flowery, yes. Eddie's burning herb and water, about to listen to podcast style while I take this spiritual bath. Yes, do it. I love that. I do the same thing. I play lives when I'm in the shower, but I've told you guys lives are my TV because I don't watch TV really. So I do the same thing. My lives, they're like podcasts. I'm just like listening. And I tend to follow people who just talk. Banging my head works well for me. Great, it's working for you. Yay. Banging my head is my headache relief tea blend. I actually had a cup this morning. That was the tea I had this morning. I've been having it for the last few days as my tea because it has rosemary in it, and I'm trying to work on my memory and my dreams. So I'm trying to eat a lot of rosemary, channel a lot of rosemary energy for the next couple of weeks while I try to get deeper into my dreams. And Banging My Head is made with clipdaga as well. Beautiful flower. It does a lot of amazing things. And rosemary and red clover blossom, among other things. But those are the main ingredients. And I got the most beautiful review. I posted it on Instagram because it's a video, so I couldn't post it on YouTube. But maybe I will. But check it out on my Instagram. One of my regular customers, her name is Mandy, has terrible headaches, and her 11-year-old son has cluster headaches, I guess, that are like really, really, really bad headaches to the point where he basically just gets nauseous and throws up and then falls asleep. Like, that's the only way. What's going on? No, not that type of reading, nerdy vampire. I won't block you yet. I'll give you a chance to kind of catch up with what we're doing. Yes, 11-year-old son, terrible headaches. I mean, I felt so bad hearing that he literally, whenever he gets a headache, he just basically cries and throws up until he falls asleep to sleep through it. They've done tests on him in the doctor's office, and they have no idea why he's having these terrible headaches and all this stuff. And Mandy said the tea really, really worked for her. And she makes a concentrated version where she just uses very little water and steeps it so it's really strong, and that really helps her. She tried it with her son. She gave him like basically a shot, like made it so concentrated and cooled it down with ice and then gave it to him as a shot, and it cleared his headache up. I'm getting chills. Cleared his headache up, and he was able to go to sleep for the first time with a headache, not throwing up, not crying. Actually, she said he was so shocked at the relief that he cried because the headache went away. That was unbelievable for me to hear. I mean, I reread it just to like the idea of a child, you know, being in that much pain and not having any relief, and doctors not being able to do anything and not being able to prescribe him anything because he's so young, and for him to get healing from the herbs. I mean, talk about a testimony like of the power of herbal healing, you know. And obviously there's a place for Western medicine, but go to the herbs. There are so many answers there, and that was just so beautiful to hear, and just come through with the medicine herbs. I mean, all I did was put them together in a package and send them off. You know what I mean? Like, I can take no credit for what God has done, what God has given us. You know, all I've done is put some stuff together, and like, I'm just so grateful and so blessed, and that just made me so amazing to hear. So I'm so happy, Anthony, that that's working for you too, because I know that headaches are a chronic issue with you as well. And so that just, it blows me away to hear anybody finding that level of relief from the herbs, because a lot of times the belief is that if you have a serious issue that you can't treat yourself with herbs, you got to go with medication because herbs are too gentle, or they're, you know, too finicky, and it depends on your body, and you got to eat right and all this other stuff to make them really be effective. And yeah, so when someone is like, Western medicine couldn't do it, herbs did it, I'm just like, yes. Reminds me of Charlotte's Web for seeing children. You know, I never read Charlotte's Web. Isn't that weird? I am a fairly well-read individual, I would think, especially as a kid. I read, oh my God, my mother would have to turn the lights off on me at 3 a.m. because I would just read all night if she didn't do that. So yeah, that's like, oh, not the book? What's Charlotte's Web for children? Is that a medicine? Is it an herb? Charlotte's Web? Why am I not? I've never heard of Charlotte's Web. That must be a folk name or something. Do you know the Latin name or the botanical name? Like the CBDs? Oh, it's a CBD company. Oh, okay. I mean, I could definitely believe that. CBD is incredibly effective for pain and anxiety and various things. We're still learning more about it, trying to understand more about it. There are other compounds in cannabis like CBG and CBN that are being researched as well. You know, so definitely I don't yet have any products with CBD in it or anything like that. I think it's a strain made for kids with epilepsy. Betty Boop says they made it for seizures. Wow, it's a strain of marijuana that's CBD heavy for seizures and has great results. Wow, okay, YouTube is going to flag me because I'm talking about it, but that's fine. They don't like it when we talk about the cannabis, but it's fine. I always appeal it. They usually let it through. CBD is fantastic. CBD is fantastic. Do you like milkweed? I like all plants, but I don't work with it. I haven't worked with it personally. Everything in my blends are herbs that I have worked with personally. So if I haven't, then I try not to like really speak on it because, herbs are so, individual. Helped my child with anxiety. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. No, the medical benefits are incredible. We need to freaking stop playing this stupid legalization game so that we can research it and really bring people some really powerful healing. There's a lot of powerful medicinal healing in that plant. So, I wish we knew more about it and had more readily available medication. And I can understand why a parent might be kind of nervous or hesitant to go down that route for their child, even though I think it is safe for children, but I understand why they, maybe not. She didn't mention whether or not she had tried CBD for her kid or anything, just that doctors couldn't prescribe anything and that tests can't explain why the headaches happen. So I'm just grateful. We know that rosemary is a powerful headache herb. We know that Clipdaga is great for headaches. We know that red clover blossom helps to relieve your blood flow for those headaches that are a result of like that swelling type of headache. So we know these things and we have researched them pretty well. We haven't researched that plant as much as we really need to. Probably be not just treating, but maybe curing some things. But keep the pressure on your elected representatives, folks. So you're doing your craft to help others. Truly blessed. It definitely makes every day so much different than when I had other jobs. My ex suffers with migraines, but nothing seemed to help. Maybe try my tea. I'm not really like just take my stuff type of thing, but it works for me. Obviously, that's why I made it. Every single blend that is in my shop is something that I made for myself, for a friend or like a family friend or something, or a client. Some of the blends were made because somebody came to me for something and I made a blend for them, and I was like, let me offer this to other people. But most of it is just stuff that I made for myself, and then I was like, let me make it available for others. So banging my head worked well for me for my headaches and some other like body aches, and it seems to be working well for other people. So you might want to look into it, or just look into those herbs like rosemary, Clipdaga, red clover blossom. Skullcap is great for headaches, as is wild lettuce, and both of those are in there too. So what is an herbalist book recommendation? I'll show you my two favorites. They're here because this is also where I do my herbal consultation. So when you schedule an herbal consultation for a custom blend, you get this too. So I like this book, The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. You've probably seen it on your Instagram because they advertise hard body because it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. But it's worth it because you get a bunch of like weekly newsletters and stuff with just herbal information that I read through that I find very, very informative. So it's kind of worth it because in addition to the book, you also get the website and the blogs and all that stuff. So if you're somebody who wants to be reading up on herbs, if you want to be reading what's new in the medical field about herbs, what new studies are going on, stuff like that, it's nice to also be on the mailing list for this Dr. Nicole Appelian. She's a PhD herbalist. And then the other book, that book is mostly like, that book I really like because it's very user-friendly. It's not heavy on the, Latin terms and contraindications and, all of this stuff. It's very user-friendly. It basically just tells you like the Latin name of the plant, where it's native, what you need to know about it, what parts of the plant you can eat safely, some recipes, and what issues do the chemical compounds in that herb help with. That's it. So it's very, very straightforward for somebody who is starting out with working with herbs but isn't necessarily, you know, enrolled in a course or something like that. If you are enrolled in a course, I got this book to help me with my herbal studies as a student for the Gaia School. If you are an herbalist or you are studying in a course and you need like a what do you call it, a materia medica with formulas and stuff like that, then I recommend Herbal Medicine from the Heart of the Earth. This is the updated 3rd edition by Dr. Cheryl Marie Tilgner. The other book was The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. And this is Herbal Medicine from the Heart of the Earth. Herbal Medicine from the Heart of the Earth. This is more, as you can see, the Book of Lost Remedies has pictures. Okay? It's kind of like with books, like what books you can tell a book is like an easy book if it's got color pictures, or a hard book if it's got none. So the Lost Book of Herbal Remedies has color pictures of the herbs. Very easy for somebody who is not necessarily an herbalist. You can see the plant, so you know you got the right thing. You're not about to do something crazy. And then this is no pictures, really, you know, except for some botanical sketches or whatever. This is a little bit more dense. It's going to be a lot more language about like medical stuff that, you know, you'll be looking up and stuff if you're not in a course or whatever to teach you what these things are. But those are kind of my 2 go-to books when I am actually working on blends. Okay, and then of course you have the Cunningham book for magic. Everybody's got the, where's that thing? I'm sure the classic encyclopedia. This is your go-to for magic to start out. This is easy peasy stuff if you're living particularly in North America or Europe. These are the herbs that you're going to find really easy, and the medical information that's in here, I wouldn't use that to eat something or try to give yourself yeah, Anthony, everybody has this one, honey. This is the go-to for magic. Okay, it has references to medicinal information, and it tells you like, oh, this is, you know, this herb is poisonous, or this herb's not good for liver or whatever. But don't rely on it for medical information. It's not thorough enough for that. But it is a good starting point for the magical uses of herbs. You know, their elemental associations and correspondences and stuff like that. Yeah, I was going to say black walnut. That's a very aggressive laxative, but that makes sense. And don't be embarrassed. I've never been diagnosed with something, but I think I have a similar issue. I'll be honest with you. So I feel you on that one. Now, black walnut is very effective. It's probably one of the more effective things. So, but why is it hard for you to get? I'm trying to figure out why it's hard for you to get. Because I feel like it's fairly readily available. If you can't get the extract, you can certainly get your hands on black walnut hull pretty easy, and like online and stuff. And you can work with the herbal books on like proportions to make like teas or it's really bitter though. An extract is like easier to take. Yeah, tell me why you're having a hard time finding that extract, because that would be like the best thing, I think. Not many places sell it. The extract, right? Have you looked into just getting the black walnut? Because you might be able to make your own. Because I've never had an issue getting black walnut. I've never had to get the extract because I don't take it internally. I use it for magic primarily, cord cutting baths, things like that. So yeah, because certainly there are plenty of other herbs that are stimulating and that are laxative-ish, but Will they just like black walnut? Not necessarily. You can try senna leaf. You can try Cascara Sagrada. Okay. Cascara Sagrada is incredibly bitter. Okay. So it is hard to take. So you might want to find it in capsule form, but you can definitely get the powder, but it's going to be hard to take it, but that will blow you right out. And then for reals. And then senna leaf. And I have senna leaf in my skinny spice tea, which is my detox tea. You don't want to take senna leaf for more than 14 days in a row, okay? Because it's kind of harsh on your organs. So that's why I would recommend black walnut over the senna leaf, because you can't even really take it like for that long of a period of time. Or if you have like issues at one period of a time, like it's not all the time, then you can make yourself like a really strong cup of senna tea, you know, and do that. But then don't drink the senna every day, because it's not good for you over long periods of time. So you could try my tea, Skinny Spice, and keep it on hand for like emergencies. But senna leaf is not quite as effective as black walnut. I'll tell you that. So, but people are giving recommendations, so that might help. And Mariah likes papaya extract instead of Tums after meals for like tummy problems. Papaya is awesome. I'm using a papaya soap for hyperpigmentation. It's also good for your skin. And Acne Sagittarius is recommending looking into iHerb. Yeah, iHerb's got like everything. And Whole Foods for the black walnut. So, yeah, papaya is great for after a meal. I didn't actually even think of it about that. I always think of it topically. But I have heard that it is good for your tummy. Thyme is really wonderful for digestion and for your tummy after a meal. A hot cup of thyme tea is a great way to finish off a meal to make sure that you don't get bloated or get gas. Yeah. So anyway, all right. I hope I answered as many of your questions as I can. If you guys have in-depth questions, or if you have issues, like that syndrome or something like that, you can always book a herbal consultation with me, and we can talk about either a blend that I have already that might be right for you, or I can make you a custom blend that is listed in the shop. When you get a custom blend from me, you get a private listing that goes on the shop page, so you can order it whenever you want in the future, as many times as you need it. So it's your listing that you get to have. So it's your blend. So that might help for people who have really particular issues or a lot of allergies, and you want to make sure that your blend isn't going to interact with anything, stuff like that. Yeah, I've been having thyme and rosemary tea at night. Just literally taking a sprig of thyme, a sprig of my rosemary plant, and putting it into some hot water. So good. A little bit of honey, so good. And stomach loves it. Loves it. All right. If you have any other questions about booking readings with me, consultations, recommendations, I've put a bunch of stuff in the description box already. It has a lot of information about recommended astrologers, where you can find any of the tarot decks that I pull from, the journals that I use, things like that. There are links to my website, bronxwitch.com, which is pretty much headquarters for everything you need. So the description box gives you some information, but if you really want to find everything, just go to bronxwitch.com. I have a whole page dedicated to discounts and giveaways. So whether it's for the tarot decks that I'm using today, or it's the nail company that I use, or whatever, anything where I have a discount code, I have shared it with you guys. So it's on the discount page of the website. You can access the shop from there. You can become a member from there. So you can do everything at bronxwitch.com. So definitely check it out. Would lemon thyme work like regular thyme too? Yes, they're very similar. They're very similar. If you mean for like digestion, yes, they're similar. What else? Oh, I want to let you guys know about the poll question at the top. I see some of you have found it already, but if you're new here, you might be like, what is this? We are going to pull cards from several decks. We pull from Oracle and Tarot and everything, and we look at the whole week and all of that. And after we get done looking at all of that, we usually feel like we need some help. So there are 4 decks listed in the poll that can help you, that can help us, basically, what I call support decks. They're not typical tarot decks. They either relate to floral energy or herbal energy or maybe shadow work, and they basically help us to get through the week. So it's kind of like that one extra card to give us that bit of advice or that thing that we need to help us get through. Right now, it looks like the Words as Wands deck is already winning. Words as Wands is usually winning at the start of the reading because everybody wants spells and rituals. But as the reading goes on, that does tend to change. Sometimes we realize we really need an herb for this, or sometimes we realize we really need to do some shadow work this week. So I leave the poll up for the whole reading so we can pull cards, get the vibe, and that gives you enough time to decide what support you really feel like you need. And then I'll end the poll and we'll pull a support card. So just want to bring your attention to that. Depending on your device, it should be towards the top of the comment section if you have the chat open. And you can vote for your support deck when you feel like you are ready and you know where you want support this week. You're sewing your friend a tarot bag as you watch. I love it. I love it. Yes. We're witching together. That is also a very nice thing to do. What else? All right, let's talk about announcements. I want to let you guys know a couple things going on the channel. Let you know what is happening with the bodega in case you haven't checked recently. I'll let you know what I'm drinking today. Let's try to get a good view of my condensation. Let's see if you can see it. Can you guys see that? It's hard to see because it just looks like strings, but that's what it is. Today I am drinking corn silk. I made some corn and poblano pepper soup this weekend. Why I made soup when it was so hot, I don't know. I just wanted something that would be easy to reheat. So I made soup, make soup a lot. And whenever I use fresh corn, I keep the silk, the strings underneath the husk. That is called corn silk, in case you didn't know. And it's got a bunch of nutrients. It's incredibly soothing. It's a wonderful nervine. It's great. Anything corn or grain related makes me feel very old world, first world, beginning of civilization. So I feel like I'm nourishing myself all the way down to the ancestral level whenever I eat like corn or rice or grain. So I love corn, and corn silk is really, really, really nourishing and refreshing. Okay, and that's just an infusion. I did a cold infusion, so it's just cold water, sat in the fridge since yesterday evening, and just took it out now. Corn is bomb. Can it be dried? Hell yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You bet. Bet your sweet ass. Sure can. Dead ass. I'd be so excited to just have corn, right? I'd be so excited about corn. Corn is special to me. I can just tell that it is it just feels ancient. You know what I'm saying? You're like, yeah, the first people saw this shit and was like, we can eat that. Mm-hmm. Any magical correspondence for corn or corn silk? Asking for a friend. I really like corn for offerings. Corn and grain are great for offerings. I love giving them as offerings either to nature spirits or to any deities or spirits related to agriculture. So I love it as an offering. I like to work with corn. Let me see what other magical stuff do I do with corn. Prosperity work. Corn and rice are prosperity workings for me. My people are from South Carolina. They were enslaved Africans brought to this country. They worked rice and corn. Those were cash crops for them. So when we talk about slavery in the South, we often think of cotton, of course. We sometimes think about tobacco, but rice, where my people lived, was huge, and so was corn. So they are prosperity things for me. So I would take like corn kernels and put them in a jar, or dry the corn, powder it, and put it into a prosperity powder, things like that. That's okay. That is okay. I have definitely had my cat come up in like inadvertently type things. It happens. What are you guys drinking on? If you haven't mentioned it, if you're new in the room, most people mentioned it when they first came in because they saw the pinned comment, so I know what most people are sipping on. But if you just came in, go ahead and let me know what you are drinking as well. And if you haven't gotten yourself a drink, go get one. You have time. Don't worry. We're going to be here for a little longer. Get yourself a cup of tea, settle in, get comfy. Multiplicity and abundance. Yeah. And just think of like the corn kernels, you know what I mean? And then you heat them up and they expand, you know what I mean? Popcorn is great magically. Popcorn is really cool because it's like earth and air and combustion, and it expands with heat. So it's got really cool energy. I like popcorn a lot, you can make a string of it. So just opened your first order of Woke Up Like This. I love Woke Up Like This. Enjoy. Woke Up Like This is one of only my 2 black tea blends. So technically, those are my only 2 true teas. Okay? In China, where tea comes from, what we call tea, they do not call tea. Herbal tea to them is not tea. We put herbs in hot water and we call it tea. In China, where tea comes from, we are talking about the Camellia sinensis plant, the tea plant. You have green, you have white, you have red, you have black, but you have a species of tea plant. And I only have 2 teas that are black tea based. That's Woke Up Like This, and Blood Clot Chai, which is for period cramps. Right, popcorn, air and earth, and then you need to add heat to make it pop. So you get a lot of that. And then you can use oil, and different people have different associations for oil. But for me, oil is water and earth, and alcohol is water and fire. So if I put oil on the popcorn and then add heat to pop it, that's all 4 elements in your popcorn. Then leave it as an offering or work it into a prosperity spell, all 4 offerings. All 4 elements in one thing. Woo-hoo! Popcorn, do it. do it. And then report back and tell us about your amazing popcorn spell. Yes. Okay? And play some popcorn while you're doing your spell. Do you guys know Popcorn, the reggae artist? I don't know much about reggae, but when I was in Jamaica, everybody was playing popcorn. Play some popcorn while you make some popcorn magic. Love it. Learning the things, popcorn spell, right? Yes, you're doing a popcorn spell. Why not? Yeah, kind of seen ginger used in jars, spells. Sugar is sweetness, ginger ale for roadblocks and heat. Carbonation for pressure and speed. I love mixing science and work. Yes, because magic is science. Magic is a science. It's a science that we don't yet understand as well as we do a lot of the others, but it is a science. And as a people, we are going to level up when we start treating it that way and really research magic and really pay attention to how energy flows, It's like, just think about how our ancestors used herbs that we are just now figuring out what chemical compounds make them do that thing or that thing. Like, isn't that crazy? How that would happen with no medical backgrounds, no science, no microscopes, no nothing. They were able to treat illnesses with these herbs that we are now figuring out why they work. It's science. It is absolutely science. Think of it as technology. That's another way to put it. It is a technology. So What else? I want to let you guys know that memberships are open. So some of you might be wondering, like, why are some people green? Why do some people have special badges? Why can some people leave special emojis? It's because they are members of this channel. This is a new thing that YouTube is doing, and so far we are loving it. I have 3 levels of membership that get you access to a whole bunch of exclusive things, whether it be custom badges and emojis, discounts to my shop. Friends level and higher gets exclusive videos, private chats that are just for them, access to the Witches of Color support group. So if you are a BIPOC witch and you're looking to build community, we have a meeting coming up at the end of the month. You can join there. And if you are a BIPOC witch who's having financial difficulty and you can't do a membership right now, you can send an email to bronxwitchmembers@gmail.com and talk to me about needing help. All of the members who are supporters, their membership fees goes directly to covering scholarship people. So please do reach out if you need community and cannot afford the membership fee. But otherwise, if you can and are a member, you're able to attend those meetings. And then the seeker level or higher gets you access to everything, and also to our book club, which has its first meeting on Saturday. So I'm excited because I know a lot of you are seekers. So we have our first meeting on Saturday at 1 o'clock on Zoom. Exactly, Betty. Woo, woo, woo. We had a private live Q&A earlier in the week just to talk about how the book works. We're reading Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, and it's a whole like multi-month program to help you heal your womb energetically and physically. So it's kind of involved. It's not like a regular book. So I went live to talk about how to actually do the book, how to set up your altar if you're going to, and all that good stuff. So we did that. We talked for like 3 hours. Like, we got in depth. I showed you my altar, everything. So when you become a seeker, you will have access to that video. So if you are like, oh no, I'm late, you're not late. Join at the seeker level. Watch that live where I go through how to use the book, how to set up your altar, all that stuff, so you can catch up real quick. And then you can go with the rest of it at your own pace. Join the meeting on Saturday where everybody will talk. It's not a live, it's a Zoom. So everybody will get a chance to talk about the experience that they're having, how they're enjoying the book, all of that good stuff. That is at 1 o'clock on Saturday. So you still have time to become a seeker and get the Zoom link. The Zoom link will be posted in the community tab. But if you are not a seeker, you won't be able to see it. So it will only be accessible to seeker level people, but it will be in the community tab, okay? And then the support group that I mentioned, our second meeting is going to be on July 31st. So the following Saturday at 1 o'clock as well on Zoom again. And our last meeting last month was a lot of fun. There were like 10 of us in there, and I think we had a really good time. I had a really great time. So I hope to see you guys there, and you only need to be friends level or higher in order to get the link to the support group. But I do ask that you identify as BIPOC and witch. If you identify as both of those things, then the support group is for you. You enjoyed that live. Me too. Me too. It was nice. We really got into it, because the book is confusing. So I'm glad that I was able to like explain it after I had time to get familiar with it, And also, shout out to you, All Things Irene, for upgrading to seeker level or renewing at seeker level. And also shout out to Awakening of Tony. So we didn't have any new members this month so far because all of you guys rolled over from last month. So I'm so happy that so many of you decided to stay on board as a member. And shout out to All Things Irene and Awakening of Tony, who upgraded to seeker level. So I hope to see you guys on Saturday when we'll talk about the book. Okay? Sewing's not your strong suit. Me either. I knit. That's a little bit easier for me. In the bodega right now, I just want to let you guys know, it's just the middle of the month. I just recently posted a reminder about the Yoni steam seats. You guys were talking about being interested in Yoni steaming, but not knowing how to do it. So I went ahead and got Yoni steam seats for you guys. They're really easy, quick, and portable plastic seats that you sit right on top of your toilet, add your hot steam water, and you sit right on top of it. So, I have a steam box. It's like a whole big wooden box with a hole cut out of it that I can open the top and put my pot in and all that stuff. But if you're not trying to invest in a, $100 box or whatever, this is an $18 option. Stick it on your toilet, easy to wash, easy to hang when you're done. So those are now available in the bodega, and they are going fast. Okay, a little faster than I thought. I only bought 10, and I'm already down to like 3. So if you are interested in doing yoni steams for the month of August when we get further into the program, and you want to do steaming, I would grab one because I'm going to order more, but they won't be here until like September. Because that's how wholesale ordering works, unfortunately. So if you want to learn more about yoni steaming, too loud, or do some yoni steaming, then I recommend checking out the yoni steam seeds before they run out. You can get your herbs and your yoni crystal eggs too on the site. Those are all still available. All right. And I guess I'll give you the heads up that next week's theme is going to be pause. P-A-U-S-E. Pause. Because I want to put the pause on this heat. So I'm working on some blends for this heat. I'm working on a menopause blend for folks out there going through the change who are having hot flashes. And for those of you who are not having hot flashes but would just like to cool down, maybe you're like me and you just run hot, you sweat a lot, the blend is going to also be helpful with that. So that's happening. I'm working on a steam for the excessive sweating and the heat, okay? Because it's a problem for me. I told you I have my coochie fan right here, and it is what it is, okay? I put it right on me because it gets crazy, okay? In this heat, and the sacral is too much. So I want to do a steam to help minimize with the sweating. And blackberry leaf is so great for helping with sweating. It helps to shrink your pores and is an astringent. Pausepiration. I love it. Yes. I want to stop the pausepiration. I want to do something to help with that, and the herbs can help. So we're going to do some steams, okay, for those of you who are like me and have a little hot at the bottom area, okay, and cool off the undercarriage. All right, with some steams. So we're going to do some blackberry leaf. I'm thinking mint, okay, for her moisture and her soothing and her cooling, her menthol chemical compounds. So I'm thinking mint. I'm thinking blackberry leaf. Okay, I was thinking of rose for the toning. All right. So we're gonna do something here, okay? Because this is hot down here, and I've had enough. So we're doing that, and then I think I want to feature. I don't think I'm coming up with a new smoke blend. I want to feature a smoke blend that I already have, which is my SFM Safe for Mama raspberry leaf and peppermint leaf, because it's a very cooling blend. I made it because it's so simple and gentle that it's the only thing that I feel comfortable with somebody who's like just given birth using. But you don't have to have just having a baby to use it. You know, the raspberry and the peppermint are a great cooling and astringent combination. So I will be puffing on it for the next week or so to see how it feels in terms of cooling. And if it works the way that I think it will, then it will be featured. It already exists. So it won't be a new blend, but it'll be a featured blend. I might do like a sale for it or something like that. But yeah, a tea and a steam, because I need to cool off. It's too much. I can't. What size egg do you recommend for newbies? Interestingly, bigger. So I have mediums and smalls. They're very small. The small is like an inch. The medium's only like an inch and a half. So we're very small. And I just placed an order for some larges for the newbies. It's easier to start with a large because it's easier to keep it in, because your muscles are not quite tight enough to hold on to something really small. So something bigger will easily just fall out, and will be, easier for you to hold on to. And then as you strengthen those muscles, you're supposed to get smaller until you can hold on to a small one and walk around and not have it come back out. Then you know your is snatched. Okay, snatched. You can walk around with a small yoni egg in. You were snatched. All right, start large, go down. Peppermint would be a nice cool chill smoke. Yeah, so I already smoke peppermint from time to time. Spearmint is actually my favorite. I love spearmint. Ooh. Maybe I should reformulate it with spearmint. Someone was asking about sweet smokes. Spearmint is the sweeter of the mints. I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, peppermint is really nice. What I want to experiment with, Lopez, is whether or not I feel an actual decrease in my body temperature, or if I feel like I stop sweating or cool off at all. You know what I mean? So it's cooling the sensation, but I want to see if it has any like physical effect. When you smoke herbs, you don't necessarily get enough of those compounds to really have like physical effects quite like that. But I want to kind of research it. Mint with lavender all the time. So good. So good. So good. Faux show. So that's what's going on with the shop. And I also want to remind you guys again, I'll keep trying to remember that we are not going to be going live on August 2nd and August 9th. Okay? August 2nd and August 9th. 2 Mondays in a row. We will not be going live. I will be out of town in Charleston visiting my family, because that is the week leading up to my birthday on August 9th. And on August 9th, still working on it. Don't hold me to it, but I think we're going to do this pajama party tarot thing. So I think we're going to do like a birthday party thing on that Monday the 9th. So there won't be a regular live. There'll be more of an informal pajama party live a little later in the night. We'll probably do it in my bedroom. I'll pull cards for the week. We'll pull cards for each other. We'll talk, we'll chat. We'll just hang out and enjoy my day. I'm turning 35 and I don't want to do a damn thing besides read tarot and hang out with you guys. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I fly in that afternoon and I'll unpack and take a shower and have dinner and we'll party. You know what I'm saying? It's still COVID over here, so I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere, and I'm not throwing no parties. And my best friend is pregnant and getting married, and all the month of July is the baby showers, commitment ceremonies, birthday parties for people's children and stuff. August is about me, and I ain't doing shit. Okay? That is word. Okay, I ain't doing shit. So we gonna hang out. I think we're gonna make that happen. So I told my husband, so he is actually being a real gem, and he's probably gonna give me the house that night and go out of town, so that I don't feel bad about spending my birthday with you guys instead of with him. I was like, I'm gonna feel bad if you're like in the living room and I'm doing this like birthday party thing. So like, could you maybe not be here or whatever? So we're gonna do something for my birthday together on another day, and the day of my birthday, he's gonna go like see his dad or see his aunt or something, so we can just hang out and I won't feel bad about it. So it's going to be, I know for sure if it happens, it's like every week I talk to you, it's more certain. We're at like 75, 80 right now. Okay, by next week, I'm gonna have to know for sure, because then I go away. So he is nice. Isn't that nice of him? Yeah. I was like, because I feel bad. It will make it harder for me to just enjoy it as a party. Then it would feel more kind of like the live, where it's like, this is the thing I do and I'm supposed to do it and I'll do it for these times. But I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I just want to chill with you guys and enjoy my birthday and maybe have some cake. Like Acme Sagittarius just said, have some cake or do something. And I don't want to be feeling like, oh, but my husband wants to spend my birthday with me and he's like sitting over there while I'm talking to you guys. So he was like, no, I totally understand. I'm probably going to do something that day, go out of town. with my aunt or something, and then we'll do something like the day after or whatever. So I think that's going to happen. If it does, it is definitely happening on Zoom so that we can talk to each other. In which case, it will definitely only be open to members. I'm sorry. I just can't have all the internet in my house. So it's just got to be my people. So if you are not yet a member, and this sounds interesting to you for whatever reason, you would like to celebrate my birthday with a pajama tarot party, then join and become a member for the month of August, and then you can end it. It will be members friend level and higher. Because friend level and higher gets access to videos and things like that. The supporter level gets custom emojis, custom badges, and a 15% off discount to the shop. And that's all. Exclusive content, exclusive videos, all that stuff, lives, private Zooms, all of that good stuff. Only accessible friend level and higher. So keep that in mind when you are joining. If you're only joining just so you can attend the Zooms, which is totally fine, you're going to want to join at the friend level or higher to do so. Otherwise, you won't get the links if you're just supporter level. Okay? But you're very important if you are a supporter level, because your supporter level membership fees helps BIPOC witches attend membership meetings if they need it. So very important level, but it does not get you access to the Zooms. So keep that in mind. Yes, eat cake that day for me, please. All right. All right, real quick, let's talk astrology real fast, because we've done a lot of announcements and stuff like that. Shout out to the 31 of you who are still in here. Go ahead and like this video for me if you don't mind, so I know that the fact that we spent all this time talking about announcements and astrology is all okay for you guys. That kind of stuff gives me feedback, so I know in the future, like, okay, we need to cut some stuff out or whatever. But that's what's going on in our little world over here. What is going on in the outer world, in the cosmos, that is the astrological component. And like I said at the start, I'm not an astrologer. I have linked a few of my favorite astrologers. Thanks for the likes, guys. It really helps. It really, really, really helps. Down in the description box is a few of the astrologers that I follow, that I watch like their regular videos of. I find them really helpful, but find your own, get readings from people, what have you. I am not an astrologer, and I won't tell you guys the long story. You all have already heard why I started caring about astrology. It all started in my bartending days. So I pay attention to the moon, I pay attention to the sun, and like major stuff like retrogrades. And I just try to generally have an idea of what the energy is around those planets or those celestial bodies, because I notice that they impact me in my life, and it helps me to know ahead of time so I can be prepared. So that's why we talk about astrology. It's not to be like, predicting the future. It's about what's the energy and how do I work with it. So Leo season starts this week. So already things are going to get so much better. Okay. Leo season's where it's at. Slightly biased Leo in the house, of course, but Leo season is where it's at because it comes right after Cancer season. And it is, for me, a super wonderful energetic switch of the energy. We go from water to fire. And I, in my astrological makeup, am mostly water and fire. And my water side, I don't enjoy as much. Okay? I don't enjoy as much. It's a lot of crying, and I'm already a very cryy person because of all the water I carry, all the sweating. I am a moist individual. Not in all the great ways. I'm just a moist individual, and so Cancer season brings up a lot of crying for me and a lot of emotional stuff that I don't necessarily enjoy. It's all good, blah blah blah. You gotta release, yeah. But I don't necessarily enjoy it. I much more enjoy being in my fire side, my masculine side, my go-getter side, my I'm going to fix it, I don't need your help, I don't have time to cry about this side. In the world in which we live in, it has served me much better than my watery side, So I tend to be in that energy more. And when the world is in that energy, I feel more comfortable. Not to say that it's better, but I just feel more comfortable. I learned a lot this Cancer season too so much doing this sacred woman thing. My sacred woman journey has basically turned into an elevation for my grandmother Alice, my grandma on my father's side. I didn't expect that at all, but that is basically what it has turned into. So it has been incredibly emotional. Incredibly emotional. I know. But it's the only word I have to describe my condition. Juicy. Nice. You just got your first tarot cards, Joyce. That's cool. Watch my video on tarot for beginners, 5 tips to starting your tarot journey. And 5 myths about tarot reading. Watch those 2 videos. All right. Which subscriber more when you show your feet, but only when you are barefoot? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not going to show my feet. They're super cute, but I don't need more subscribers. So good to know that that would be the way to get them, but I'm not actually in need. So thanks. True. We need moderators. You know what? I really, I know it probably annoys you guys. I don't mind the weirdos in the comments. I really don't have very many. We're still a very small group, so we get 1 or 2 every once in a while that I guess, gets lost and finds their way in here. But we don't have too much of a problem, I think. For me, I'm sorry if it's bothering you guys. Also, I don't know if you know this, but you can hide people yourselves. You can hide people yourselves, like how I'm about to hide this person right now. You can hide people yourselves. So if you're in the comments and you just don't want to see a person, you can hide them. It won't hide them from me, but it will hide them from you. So if you just don't want to see them anymore, then you can just hide them from yourself. The reason why I don't get too crazy about blocking people or trying to hide them is because it's engagement for my channel. Yeah. Why am I going to block you? You saying stupid shit is still watching and engaging with this video. So, since you're just leaving words on the internet, I was thinking about this today too, you guys, and this is not to any of you guys. I totally understand if you are irritated by people in the comments and all that. It's disgusting. It's annoying. All that stuff. They shouldn't be there. Blah 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 blah. I'm done. The internet is not real. It's not real. This is not real. Oh, yes. See, I think my bartender, 15 years. I'm sorry. After 15 years of having weirdos in my face, able to touch me, grab me, do all kinds of really, truly inappropriate shit. Yeah, having glass bottles thrown at my head by angry customers. Having to clean blood up off my bar because people cracked each other's head open. Yeah, I've seen it all in my face. So you are never, ever, ever going to be a threat to me on this internet. Never. Never. I am sorry. That is probably very anticlimactic to the trolls who need the energy, but I'm just not. I'm sorry. I've had people try to beat the shit out of me. I've had bitches threaten me on the way out. I've had my security guard at my bar take the train with me home because some chick was threatening to beat my ass when I got outside after my shift. Y'all don't scare me. Like what Bernie Mac said. Bernie Mac, y'all motherfuckers don't scare me. Fuck out of here on the other side of a screen. What you gonna do? Hit me? Get the fuck out of here. I don't care. Come into my live, be in my comments, give me engagement, make my channel more popular, and then I'll hide your comments. You know what I'm saying? It's all a simulation, baby. This is not real life. I'm not even sure that this is real life. Shit. I'm definitely not putting energy into this internet. I barely know if this shit is real. I'm waiting for the sky to glitch. Okay? I am not concerned about the internet. This is unbelievable make-believe. None of y'all are really real right now. That's not true. Some of y'all are real. I know some of y'all. But you know what I mean? The internet at large, oh, I can't. Oh, nothing better. We just had a couple trolls, and I was explaining why I don't bother to block them. I'll hide their comment or something if it's stupid. I don't want to see it. But I don't bother to block them. I need the engagement. Go ahead. I don't care about subscribers and stuff like that. But engagement means when you come on to your page and you follow me, it shows you that I have a video. You know what I mean? Like, you know how on Instagram you follow 1,000 people, but it only shows you the same 100 people every time? That's because you engage with those channels. So that's why you get updates when they post. Okay? The same thing is here on YouTube. When you engage with me, then that means that YouTube tells you stuff I do. So if you guys don't like, if you don't comment, if you don't engage, even though you subscribe to me, you might not get notifications about the things that I'm doing. So I want you to engage. I want you to leave comments. I want you to like. I want you to tune in. Not because I'm trying to get more subscribers and followers. I don't care about that. I know that the people who are supposed to be here will be here. But when I'm here, I want you to know that I'm here. You know, I don't want you to be in the comments the next day. I missed the live. YouTube didn't notify me. I didn't know. You know what I mean? So I like for you guys to know what's going on. So your engagement with me hacks the algorithm, make sure that you always see my new stuff, all of that. So I don't care about subscribers, but I do want engagement. And they count as engagement. So they can stay. They can stay. You have no fire. I have very little earth. Grounding is an issue for me. So yeah. But no envy. We don't envy. No. We don't envy. We find other ways to grow our version of the things that we want or create what we want. You can create fire in your life, even if you don't have fire in your chart. You know? Mariah, yes. There was a person in the comments of a foot fetish. That's basically what happened. I thought they were giving legit advice. I wasn't sure. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, you can stick around. I don't know. If you say weird shit, I'm just going to hide you. So I don't have to see your weird comments. But no, stick around. Increase the algorithm. Increase the engagement. You know? I get uncomfortable. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Obviously, they're uncomfortable. Certainly, you know, it's not comfortable to be talking to somebody and then have like somebody pop up with like a thing. Nerdy vampire, I done already told you to familiarize yourself with what we're doing. Okay, I'm letting you stay because you're not saying anything inappropriate. You're just asking questions to which the answers have already been provided. But I'm going to need you to go ahead and handle up on the answers to these questions, my love. This is a collective reading. That's not happening here. Hit the description box, okay? All right. But yeah, Ashley, they make everybody uncomfortable. That's their job. That's a troll's job. It's to make you uncomfortable. That's what they're here for, okay? So don't worry about that. The question is, can they interfere with your shit after they made you uncomfortable? That's where we lay it down. You made me feel uncomfortable. That's fine. That's your job, troll. But now it's my job to monitor my space. All right. So I'll hide you or, whatever feels appropriate at the time. Yeah. Sleeping with plants and shit. Yeah, I'm trying to listen. I have a brown thumb. I'm really working hard. I am so proud of my money tree, my money plant. I have a thing about the money plants. Yeah, I'm a prosperity witch over here, I guess. Because the money plants, I'm good. But a couple of them, no worries, no need to apologize, love. Just familiarize yourself so you know what's going on, honey. I'd be happy to give you a private reading, just not here. And, so the money plants, the plants I associate with prosperity, we do good. My other plants, not so much. So I don't have that earth thing. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to develop it by getting plants and working with plants, trying to learn more about them, get better with working with the living plants. You know, dried herb I've worked with for many years and feel comfortable with that, but growing plants and living plants, that I struggle with because I don't have any earth in my chart, and I really struggle to connect with them alive. You know, let me light it on fire, put it in a tea, bitch, I'm great. But to connect with the plant, that's what I'm learning. How's the plant on your new altar doing? The plant on my new altar is a new plant because that one died. That one died. It was dying. Okay, here's what happened with the rosemary. It was dying, and I was like, I'm going to put it on my Sacred Woman altar because maybe I can bring it back to life with the spiritual work happening at this altar. And then I got a message, because what I'm learning to do is to release and let go of things that no longer serve me. And I'm doing it with my grandmother. And she was like, get me a new fucking plant. Period. I was like, no, but I can't throw away a plant. She was like, give it as an offering and get me a new plant. This is sad. We're trying to bring me to life. We're trying to bring me light and life and elevate me so that I can be put on the altar with the other ancestors. And you got me over here with a dead ass plant. And I was like, you're right. I have a ZZ plant. She's doing okay. One part is dying. How I'm killing a ZZ, I don't even know. My snake plant also died. But before dying, gave birth to a little baby, which I am now trying to grow. Okay? So, you know, y'all love to hit me with the advice, but I've been telling y'all. Okay? It's not the plant. It's me. It is not the plant. It's me. I just have to accept that it is me, and I am learning. Okay? I overwater. Yes. Good question. And I definitely tend to overwater. Yeah, snake plants are very forgiving, you know, of normal people. But I have a problem. I don't know what it is. Let's see. So we were getting into the astrology, talking about Leo season, the fire energy, how I do much better with that. Peace lilies. I just don't like peace lilies. I love lilies. I'm a huge fan of lilies. Star lilies are my wedding lilies. Love lilies. Don't like peace lilies. They just kind of bore me. Other lilies have 5. Why do you just have the 1? I don't know. But yeah, I'm an overwaterer. So my fire energy, my masculine energy, I like to be in that. We're entering into Leo season. So if you feel sensitive to the changes of the season or of the sun in particular, then that is something that you might notice as we go into Leo season. We have a full moon at the end of the week. So I know you witches are excited for that. And witches love some full moons, you know. So we got a full moon coming up at the end of the week on Friday. These lives let me know the pajama party is going to be wild. Yo, I don't even know what I'm doing. Being like, I'm just going to let you guys just be all in a thing. I don't know. It could be crazy. I'm excited, though. It'll be fun. I don't think I can hide or block people in that, though. So, just so you know. But I don't think we'll have trolls in that because you got to pay, then become Zoom, and it's a whole thing. So it should be good, but it should be fun. We have a full moon at the end of the week on Friday, full moon in Aquarius. It is the blessing moon. And, you know, of course, it has many other folk names, but blessing moon is what I know for this one. Super appropriate for what I've got going on with me. The full moon will be the last day of my 21-day detox. So I'm doing the Gateway 0 with Sacred Woman with the book club. We are in the first gateway. Well, depending on how you're doing it, you might be in the first gateway, Gateway 0. So I will be finishing Gateway 0 on the day of the full moon. And that will also be the end of the elevation that I'm doing for my grandma. So she will be going on to the altar that day. So it's like so perfect that it's the blessing moon. Because it's just a blessing energy, like elevating her to the altar is like, I'm so happy. So that's a beautiful vibe. Full moon vibe, we talk about it all the time. The full moon, you can work whatever magic you need to work whenever you need to work it. But the full moon time is usually thought of as a time that's really good for release. We talked about the new moon being a time for going in, recharging, restarting, or planting the seed of something that you would like to see grow over that 14-day period. And then here we get an opportunity to release things or to show gratitude. I really love the full moon for gratitude, because if you planted something on the new moon, express thanks for the progress that it has made. Even if it hasn't yet sprouted above the surface and you can't see it, it's growing. So this is a great time to say thank you for that and encourage it along the way. The full moon is also good for attraction magic. For me, I like to use it if I was going to do love attraction or try to attract something. I think of the full moon as like a big beacon of light, kind of radiating out, come to me, come to me. So I like the the moon for that. I like it for connecting to the goddess. My last full moon was the strawberry moon in June. It was a really powerful goddess ritual that I did. Managed to drink a whole bottle of strawberry wine to myself. I don't drink, so I know that was not me. It was beautiful, really wonderful. And transformation is another big theme. And Aquarian energy, it's a full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius energy is a little bit crazy energy for me, I'll be honest. But one of the things that I do like about it is it's very idealistic energy. So if you have a vision of yourself that seems maybe a little out of reach, or if you have a vision of what you want to do for the world as like a humanitarian that seems big, world peace, freedom for the people of Cuba, big goals that are humanitarian in nature, Aquarius energy can help you to visualize that, because it's so idealistic that it's like anything is possible kind of energy. So if you are doing attraction or transformation magic with this energy of anything is possible, shoot for the stars, right? Mi gente, Ashley, are you Cuban? My prayers for the people of Cuba, fighting for their freedom after 62 years of communism. Big deal. A very, very, very big deal. And so if you want to help with that, if that's something you feel called to do, this full moon in Aquarius could be very helpful for you to do some type of ritual or spell work to help you help the people of Cuba, or tap into the energy that you need to help you get out there and help or cast a spell of some kind. So those are sort of the energies of a full moon in Aquarius thing. Hello. Side note, last week's Turn Compassion into Action manifested hard. I applied for a big promotion that will be supporting developing people on a much bigger level. Yay! I love that, Amy. I love that. Ashley's Cuba, Puerto Rican, traveled to islands. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm talking to a Leo since the weather's showing me signs. So with the moon, I hope I can get a bigger sign. Yes. Our words as one was in the mirror. I can see all new thoughts to me. Yes, that's right. That was the new moon. The new moon affirmation for words as one. So that really lines up with getting everything that you need. And now we have the blessing moon of that coming to fruition and saying thank you, or even just enjoying it, So words as wands is still in the lead. So without even getting into the cards, it kind of feels like a ritual or spell for the full moon is probably what you guys are gonna want. All right. So let's get into these cards, folks. Let's get into this reading here. So right after the reading, I am going to bed because the Sacred Woman Gateway thing that we're doing, I've been getting up earlier and earlier, and this is my last week of Gateway 0, so I'm really committed to getting up between 4 and 6. I'm aiming for 4:30 to be my goal, and I've been able to get up to 6 o'clock. The earliest I got up last week was 5:30. So I'm trying to break past 5:30, but to make that reasonable, I've got to be in bed by like no later than 10. So just so you know. All right, guys. So we are going to get into the reading now. So I'll be pulling cards from the Vintage Wisdom Oracle deck that we always use. Pulling cards from the Conjure cards by Jake Richards, which are a new addition. We're getting to know these cards, so we'll be in the guidebook for that one. And we'll be doing the bulk of the reading from the Key Tarot today. So we haven't worked with the Key Tarot in a few weeks. And the Key Tarot is made by Jamie Gold and Scarlett Ravenswood. And I am actually in this deck. I'm the World card, which still blows me away. Beautiful deck. And if you're interested in getting this deck or any of the decks, you can find them linked in the description box. And the Key Tarot, you can actually get a discount on if you want to get it. You can use my code ALY10, ALY10, for 10% off the deck. But I'd let you know. Okay. Okay, so this is usually where I take a hit of something and kind of recenter myself, but I was called to fully detox. So I am not smoking any cannabis for I don't know how long. We'll see when they tell me I can go back. But I have been told to take a break for various reasons in this process that I'm going through. So pray for me, because, you know, doing something differently is never easy. Pretty Boop said pause. Anna. Listen, my life and my is spirit led. So I do these things based on that, and sometimes I'm like, but gotta do it. I'm not gonna get the messages in my dream that I need if I don't, is what I've been told. So I have to stop smoking for a little while so that my dreams can reactivate to the level I need them to be, so I can get the message that I need. The candle's making my infusion hot. So, yeah, it does. So, that's where we're at. So, but that plant for me is also what I use, though, when I'm doing anything spiritually. So, you know, they're like, you have to do things a little bit differently, because you just have to. Here I am, doing it differently. But spirit is with me, and that's what matters. So take a second to center myself, because we've been talking. We're going to get into the reading, and if you are taking notes, now is the time to grab your notebook. You guys. So, the astrology thing. Like, I mean, let's see some of it. The astrology thing. Okay. It always shows up in the cards. So this is why we talk about it. But it's just, every time it happens, it's always still like funny to me. It's always just like, I don't know. When will I stop being surprised? I don't know. So we have the full moon, we have the end of Cancer season, we have the beginning of Leo season. We have the full moon here in our oracle message coming up this week in enchantment. So we'll get into that in a second, but we have the full moon represented in our oracle card. Usually it's in the tarot cards, but this time we have it in the oracle card. So the full moon's message is going to relate to the entire week, not just the point of the week where the full moon occurs. And then we're ending Cancer season, King of Cups in reverse, and we're starting Leo season, Aries, Emperor. The Emperor relates to Aries specifically, but also any of the fire signs. So we have this transition from being in a very watery, emotional, releasing place to being in a very fiery, forward, action-oriented place, happening here in the week. Interestingly, right in the Monday and Tuesday position. So even though the full moon isn't until later in the week, and the transition from Cancer to Aries, Leo isn't until later in the week, this is telling me that the themes around this full moon and the themes around the transition of the seasons apply to the whole week. So yes, they happen on certain days this week, but those themes are going to be a part of our entire week if they aren't already a part of what we're dealing with or what we're going through, okay? Remember, the Monday card isn't really the Monday card. It's not so much about what we expect to happen today for me. This sets the tone for the rest of the week and kind of tells us what our major theme is, what's like the major string that's running through the week. And here we have the end of Cancer season and that final release of emotions. And for me, this is sort of like the transition from there to there, kind of, but rather than being here in a watery place, we transition to that place of power in a fiery place. So it's a very big transition. Like literally we went from like, you know, some older white dude to like this young black guy. But like really it's a whole transition of energy, of receptivity, release, emotion, wateriness, transformation, you know, all of that stuff. And then a total kind of 180 to the opposite, where now it's about outward expression, outward action, completing your transformations, being in a position of yang, of masculine, of putting out into the world, as opposed to the King of Cups reverse, watery, receptive, you know, receiving type of energy. So we spent this last 2 weeks in this last moon phase, or this last month in this Cancer season, receiving, learning, taking in information, going within and transforming. Now we get the opportunity to start projecting some of that stuff outward. Okay. Yeah, always Acme, every single time. That's why I talk about it, because if I didn't take the time in the beginning to talk a little bit about, you know, Cancer season being over, or what the energy of the full moon is, or whatever, then when they came up, then I would just have to explain it now. But we already talked about that, so that saves us from having to do it now. But it always shows up, because as above, so below, you know, especially I think because this is a collective reading. So because we're not zeroing in on one person's particular problem or question, we're just talking about the energy in general. I feel like, of course, it's going to incorporate what's happening celestially, because the energy down here is very much impacted by the energy up there. I know some people don't see a correlation between what happens in the cosmos and here on Earth, but I do. I feel it. I see it in my own life. So Every time. It always shows up. So that's a major theme for us this week, this transition from watery, receptive, learning about myself, introspection, letting emotions come up, crying over things that have been done to me, crying over the mistakes that I have made, or the things I let myself, deal with for too long, or what have you. And then now into the Emperor. Now it's taking this by literally taking it into my own hands, taking that fire and directing it outward if need be. Now paying more attention to who I am in the world, how I show up in the world, what I do in the world, things like that. Now that I've had a chance to kind of process a little bit of my shit, And this is an ongoing process. It's not like cancer season happened, you cried, you healed, now you're like Captain America and you do everything. These things will come back around again. Probably next time something's in Cancer, or the next time Mercury reggaetons or something, But for now, you've overcome another level in that healing process as a result of, that receptive wateriness of Cancer season. Now we get to kind of go the other way, masculine energy, and put that forward, more yang energy, more fire energy. So we're starting off the week kind of feeling that shift. So if you haven't felt it yet, hang on. The next couple of days, do expect to feel that shift of not feeling so emotional, not so quick to cry, not so feeling retreated from people and wanting to be inward, feeling a little bit more ready to get out in the world, not necessarily literally, but physically, be more outward with who you are now that you've come to another level of understanding. And then paired right with that, we have the Lovers in reverse, interestingly, right after the Emperor. And so taking things into your own hands, getting into your yang energy, on the one hand, in a very, very literal sense, could result in the ending of a relationship, because now you have had time to process the relationship and you're ready to take action. And that action might be getting rid of somebody, or ending things with somebody, discontinuing a friendship, or stepping away from a work relationship, or what have you. But on a more grand scale and on a more energetic scale, the Lovers relates not just to outside of ourselves, but also within ourselves, the two sides of ourselves, the material body, physical inner self, and then our spirit self. And with this in the reverse, the energy here is like that part is getting to come out. It's a tango, literally takes two to tango. It's a tango. And I just love the imagery on these cards, because you can kind of see the King of Cups in the male figure dancing with his blue suit. And then you see this red orange echoed with the female character dancing. And so it's like one has been in charge for a while, and now the other gets to lead. So we have this tango of my watery, feminine, receptive side and my masculine, active energy side. And the juxtaposition of Cancer to Leo really makes that kind of obvious in our lives. So we really complete that shift as we get into the Wednesday area of the week, where now we are letting the Emperor lead the dance. We've reversed the lead in the dance. And now the Emperor, the fire energy, the yang energy, the masculine energy can lead. All right. So if you are like me and don't particularly enjoy the process of Cancer season, despite all of its I'm a better person, don't necessarily enjoy the process of the going within and the discomfort of the pain and all of that stuff, this might be a bit of a sigh of relief, because the energy here is not so emotional. It's a lot more action oriented. So if you like that, then get ready to take what you learned about yourself over Cancer season and take action. Okay? I want to look into the conjure card. So I'm kind of detour for a quick second because I want to look at the conjure card, which we pulled, which is the King of Clubs. And it's got a crucifix on it. We pulled it in the upright. So I want to see how that relates to this transformation. So the Jake Richards describes this as a dark elderly man who is set in his ways and stubborn about everything. Although stubborn, he's a good husband and knows how to get things done. In contrast to the criminal King of Spades, this is the just judge. If this card shows in a reading, whatever bad comes before it ends with him. If it is undeserved, in the case of a curse sent against you, if it continues, it is justified. So we pulled this card, I think, a couple of weeks ago in the reverse. And we were talking about, what is deserved and what isn't deserved and being a just judge and all of that stuff. And what's coming through here this week in the upright is about this like stubbornness aspect of it. So this part of you, this masculine yang part of you, might be what you consider to be your more stubborn side, okay? And we're letting this part of ourselves rule this week. We're letting this part of ourselves out. So if you are generally more receptive, letting other people get their way, giving in because it keeps the peace, not necessarily holding your ground because you don't want to come off as difficult. This is saying be difficult. This is difficult time. Okay, it's time to be difficult. We had time to process. We had time to go in, look at ourselves from a different perspective, be receptive to criticism, whether that criticism came from others, from ourselves, or from spirit. We were open to those things so that we could change and we can grow. And now it's time to be stubborn. I love how they like literally kind of look alike. Now it's time to be stubborn. This is your fire king energy, your emperor energy. Time to take action and be firmly rooted in what you are and who you are. Because now that you've gone through this process, you can be a lot more sure of yourself. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, I am like this because my mother treated me like that when I was young. But now that I know that about myself, I understand that about myself. Now I can stand my ground, and it's not just me being stubborn or being difficult. No, this is called boundaries. And to some people, it's being stubborn. To some people, it's being difficult. To me, this is boundaries. This is, I was receptive, I received, I went in, and now that I understand myself better, this is me putting my stick in the ground and saying, this is where I stand. This is me. Take it or leave it. You know? So that's that energy. Yeah. Cleus Fires is relating to that. When we are receptive, it's got to be balanced out. And sometimes we're too heavy in the one. And that's where we can kind of let people kind of walk over us, take advantage, things like that. And that's changing very much so with this energy. And if you, like Cleus Fires, feels like you live in this space too much, then my prayer for you is that as we get into Leo energy and the energy of the cosmos changes into this situation where we let this fiery action part of ourselves rule, my prayer is that the energy of the cosmos, you can channel it into your own heart and call that into your own life. Time for a hell no. This would definitely be a hell no. This would definitely be a hell no. I mean, you're not telling Jesus what to do. I mean, can you think of anybody more firmly set in their ways than somebody literally nailed to a cross, buried in the ground? I'm not budging on this, right? So that is the energy that we want from that. Our oracle message this week is enchantment. And I'll talk about it now as we're getting towards the full moon part of the week. And I definitely think we'll be pulling from the Words as Wands deck for this one. Because enchantment is all about that mysticalness and that magic. And I love that it's a freaking mermaid. Okay, I love that it's a freaking mermaid. For me, the goddess, like the penultimate goddess, is Mami Wata. She's the goddess of all goddesses for me, and she comes from West Africa, and she is depicted as a mermaid. And so I love seeing this card with the full moon behind her. This is total divine feminine goddess energy, and I think that is so interesting that this is our oracle card as we are moving into this fire aspect of ourselves. Because it really feels like Spirit is saying, like, look, we need to strike this balance between the water and the fire, the receptiveness and the action in your life. And enchantment is the card of spell casting, of magic, of mystery. So I think you guys are right on track with the Words as Wands, because Spirit is saying basically this is something you can cast about. This is something you can incorporate the full moon into. This is something you can incorporate the goddess into. Okay? Into figuring out or working on how to strike a better balance between these two elements of yourself. Okay? So magic is our advice. All about that balance. And 3 different king cards. Yeah, because you are bossing it right now. All about that balance. And temperance specifically is really about that balance of water with other stuff, you know. Temperance is very water with earth, but just water with anything. Temperance is all about water. All right. So we're getting stubborn this week. We're getting into our fire, into our wands, into our Leo energy selves, and magic might help or be the result of it. Okay, getting into Thursday, Friday, and I think this is where we have the change of the sign. I guess it's kind of earlier in the week, I guess, and then later in the week we have the full moon around about Friday or so, and we have the King of Swords in reverse with the 10 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so again we have this king energy here, owning that emperorness, owning that energy, stepping into that. But it's very interesting that we have it here in the reverse, coupled with the 10 of Cups in reverse, because it's not going to be an easy process for you to make this transition. And there is the potential for some kickback. This is kickback, okay? This is Thursday, Friday. This is kickback Thursday, Friday. Now, if you relate to the king, this could be your own personal kickback, okay? So basically, when things change, it can make us feel uncomfortable, and we might sort of recoil against it. You know what I mean? You cut a rubber band and it pops back into place or whatever. Or you stretch it out and then you let it go, it pops back into place. So sometimes when we try to change things, there's a little bit of like a recoil against the change. And that's what's coming up here. King of Swords in reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse is like a general feeling of unhappiness about what's happening. Maybe a little bit of harsh and bitter words to say about it. The King of Swords is not watery at all, really harsh. Sometimes too harsh, really just downright mean, sometimes too aggressive, takes advantage of their authority, takes advantage of their position, rather than being a wise and fair leader. They tend to get a little power hungry, a little ego trippy. And so if you are standing your ground to somebody like this, that could be really not cool for them. Okay, so like I said, this could be you, and you could have some personal like, oof, this is hard, this is uncomfortable, I don't feel comfortable in my space, this fire energy is not sitting well with me, I am more comfortable in my watery space. But I think for a lot of you, it's more like other people around you will have something to say or some type of a response to this transition that you are going through, right? When you set up boundaries or put your foot down or decide to be stubborn, right, you will get called difficult, and you will be made to feel like your expectations or your requirements are unreasonable. You might be put down or made fun of, all because it makes somebody else really uncomfortable that you're leveling up and you're changing. And for a lot of you, this is going to be people in your immediate circle, right in your family, in your own home. Facts. Okay? So be mindful of that. Your transition might not sit well with a lot of people. Wow. Chantal says, just set a boundary with my partner, air sign and King of Swords, and he is currently giving me the silent treatment. Wow. That is exactly the energy. Precisely the energy. Your level up is going to upset people. Okay? You deciding, as a result of what you learned about yourself through Cancer season, that you are coming out of that differently. You are going to hold yourself to a different standard and therefore hold other people to a different standard. Anybody who is not willing to rise to that occasion is going to be pissed. That's the day you see the llamas. Nobody better try anything. That would not be the day to try anything, no. But, it might happen. So, literally about to stand up to my new BF, says Pebbles. Wow. Literally fearing kickback from family and friends. Wow, everybody's like, exactly. 100% ex-husband dealing with me, setting boundaries. Guess what day I have to see him this week? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Did a working for release today. Tapped into the moon for assistance, going on a personal journey, trying to own the Emperor's, proving hard too. Listen, this is why we do this, right? We do this so that we can check in with ourselves. What's going on? What do I need to check in for? Yes, I know that I have these issues going on with this person, that person, that person. Guess what? The tarot reading tells you that Spirit knows you're going through it too. Spirit knows you're going through it too. They are telling us to stand our ground. Don't go back to the old you. Don't go back to keeping the peace. Don't go back to giving in. We did that. We received. We learned lessons. We flipped that shit on our heads. And now we are in our fire energy. We're in our masculine. We're in our yang energy. Okay, we are firmly rooted in who we are because we now have a much better understanding of who we are. And yes, that will change. In the future, we will always be learning and growing and all of that good stuff. But we learned something really powerful Cancer season that just passed, and we now see ourselves in a new light. Stand on that. Stand on that, and don't let people drive it away. Yay, Jessica, hi. I love that. So many people are working magic right now. Like, people are like sewing tarot bags and working their altars. I absolutely love that. Hi. The energy is good for you. Okay, so just know that as you are stubborn, as you let that yang side of you take the lead this Leo season, or at least just for, this full moon phase, folks in your home, folks in your family, folks who are close to you might feel rubbed the wrong way about it. Okay? Thank you, Eddie. Yes. I'm also not a Leo. Yes. So for the weekend, though, The weekend is interesting. The energy is like, well, first of all, we have Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have 10 of Wands in the reverse. And, you know, I'll go right ahead and just be honest and say that some of these folks who are bristling at you setting boundaries are potentially not going to survive through this weekend. I'm just going to keep it real. Potentially might not survive the weekend, okay? Because the energy here is we are stopping it, right? The Knight of Pentacles is already kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? This is a horse or a donkey? It's a horse, but he should really be on a donkey because Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of all the knights. He's taking his time. He's not in a rush of any kind. Real slow. In the reverse, it's like, why are you even on a horse? Why? We are going nowhere. What are we doing? Why bother? This is we're going nowhere. 10 of Wands is we're putting it all down. All the shit we were trying to carry, all the things we were trying to juggle, we're just putting them all down. You know? In the upright, it's like, you know, put a couple of those down so that we don't struggle so long in our journey. This is just fuck it. Just drop them all. So I'm sorry. And, you know, not to speak on anybody's relationships. May all of your relationships live long and prosper so long as they are healthy and good for you. But if they're not, and if you setting up your boundaries pulls out this part of a person, King of Swords in reverse, where they just kind of get bossy and nesty, that might bring some things into perspective. And some of you are going to be feeling like, you know what? We're not going any further with this. No more. We're putting it down. Right. Yeah, purge your Insta. Do it. Like literally not survive? I don't think anybody's gonna die. I don't think anybody's gonna die. I would like to hope not. I don't think anybody's gonna die. That's not the message here. But I think some of these relationships, this character, the person who is the most disturbed by you putting down boundaries and taking action with your new self and not letting them get their way, the person who has the hardest time with that would be the relationship that might not survive this process. Because this energy is very much, you know what? No, I'm not going forward with this. Let's just put it all down. That's it. You know, and again, that's not to speak on anybody's relationship. This is not a private reading. This is the collective reading. So this is going to be the energy in the collective. So while you may be feeling like, you know what, I don't even want to move forward with this, I'm just going to end it, you may not. Okay? So this is for the collective energy. But keep in mind that might be the energy around you. And if you're feeling that, you want to check in with yourself and make sure that that's really what that's really what you want. And that's really right for you. And that's where the personal exploration comes in. The collective reading is a great way to get an idea of what is happening outside of you, so that then you can go in, whether you pull tarot for yourself, a lot of people in the comments pull their own cards for themselves to pair it up with the collective reading. So that's why you see people saying, oh, I pulled this, I pulled that. They're talking about their personal readings. So whether you do readings for yourself, prayer, ritual, whatever you do, the next step after a collective reading is to then, the messages that vibrated with you, now we go and say, okay, how does this apply specifically to my situation? If the energy in the atmosphere towards the weekend is going to be ending things, not moving forward, letting go of our burdens, letting go of the extra things going on, what are my burdens? Who is my King of Swords in reverse? And if I know already that I don't want this relationship to end, knowing that they are going to have a hard time with me setting up my boundaries, knowing that the energy is one of let's just end it, I'm going to have to do a lot of work to make this relationship last. And you're probably going to have to make a lot of sacrifices and go back to being this guy. That's your choice. That is your choice. But it seems like you learned a lot about this guy that you don't want to be anymore. You have the opportunity to embody this. And when other people bristle at it, that's probably a sign about them and whether or not they're really here for you. Because anybody who's here for you is going to want you to set up your boundaries, is going to want you to protect yourself, is going to respect those boundaries when they are set, is not going to try to question you and make you think that you're wrong, make you think that you don't really feel the way you feel, make you feel like you're being unreasonable. That's what the King of Swords in reverse does. He's a manipulator. He's a good talker. He's mentally crafty in a way that's negative, though. He uses it to manipulate and to convince you don't really feel the way you feel. Amethyst Moon says, purposely post my beliefs on social media to weed out the weak ones. It's a good idea. Set up your boundaries and see who has an issue with you protecting yourself. And that should tell you a lot about that person and whether or not you want them around. Somebody like that maybe needs to, be dropped off. Again, personal choices. I am not here to say you should or should not do anything, or your relationship will or will not survive or what have you. But the energy is going to be one of wanting to let go of extra burdens, wanting to lighten the load, wanting to not move forward until we can move forward comfortably and easily. And therefore, if someone is giving you discomfort and dis-ease and making it hard for you to be the healthier, healed, more secure version of yourself, then if letting them go is something you think is right for you, the energy is in your favor. If you want to keep them in your life, the energy is not in your favor. Does not mean that it cannot be done, but you are going to need to change something about this equation. And since you can't change other people, it would only be you. So you would have to literally willingly say, I'm not going to let myself level up to this point so that I can be what this other person needs me to be. I know we do it, but when we say it out loud. Hi, Portia. Yeah, Amy loves this. Virgo's like, oh, I get to cut some people out. What? What'd you say? Hold on. Huh? Virgos love that. Virgos and Scorpios, they'll cut you out in a second. Yes. Virgos will have a list. Who is it today? Goodbye. Yes. So let's right to fly. Go out with a bang. Yes. You know what I'm saying? So, not telling you what you should do, just telling you what the energy is. The energy supports you in your yang. It supports you in your masculine. It supports you in letting your expressive, outward, action-oriented self take charge for right now, because your receptive, receiving, feminine, watery side got a damn good workout during Cancer season. You got to let a lot out and learn a lot, and now you can show up in the world as a more secure and strong version of yourself. Don't let people tell you you're being stubborn or difficult. You are standing your ground, and those people who try to diminish that as stubbornness or difficulty, those are the folks that we can maybe put down. Not like that. Physically no longer deal with that. Okay? So, I could use some support through that for sure. And we were talking about enchantment, so I'm already pulling out the deck. I don't even think I'm gonna have to really think about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this one ready. I am gonna officially end the poll and check the vote, but I'm gonna just get this one ready. So if you came in later and you don't know what's going on, above your chat you will find a poll where you can vote on which support deck you would like for me to pull a card from. Okay, and the support card is basically to help us through this thing that we just learned about. Help us to deal with these energies. Help us to channel in full moon energy, Leo energy. Help us to release the Cancer energy. Let it go. Let go of the things that we learned. Move on into the fire. What can support us do that? I can see herbs being helpful. I can see all types of things being helpful. But it seems like a ritual or a spell that relates probably to the full moon in some way is probably going to be helpful to guys. Oh, you guys are talking about like family stuff. Right. Oh my goodness, Eddie. I know what that's like. Just being different in every single way from your family. Just being that one that's just like, where people are just like, are you doing it on purpose at this point? Like, how are you so different from us? So there are 4 decks for you guys to choose from for support. The rainbow sheep. Yes. Oh my God. I'm not even the black sheep. I'm bisexual. I'm the rainbow sheep. I love it. Yes, my whole family's black. We all black sheep. I'm the rainbow sheep. That's why I stand out. You are so right. A black sheep in my family wouldn't stand out. That's not that different. This is a different kind of different that I got going on. My family's like, what? I don't know what's going to happen. Christmas is at my mom's house. I'm going to ask my uncle to pray. I was thinking about doing the prayer this year and just shocking everybody with a straight up pagan prayer. And just hitting them with the goddess and all kinds of shit, maybe pouring out something and offering on the ground and just make everybody think that the devil's in the room. But I was like, I think I'll just ask my uncle to say a regular Christian prayer and just, I'm so different. I don't need to go above and beyond. Right, I just know people gonna be like, you what now? Exactly. And all the people who are like, okay, we're with it, keep them close. And all the people who are like, I don't like this, you might have to hit them with this. A rainbow sheep shirt or something. Wear that to my family's house. Dude, my sister makes t-shirts. Hit her up. I'm not even joking. Somebody get a rainbow sheep merch shirt. I might have to make them. But in the meantime, made by McKnight. She does custom t-shirts. Follow my little sister and get a shirt. Get a freaking rainbow sheep shirt. That would be so funny. Why does YouTube keep flagging your comments about rainbow sheep? They don't like the word rainbow? What's the problem, YouTube? Do it super casually too and pretend you do it every year, right? Like I'll just be like, okay, let us begin. In the name of the Lord and Lady, I give honor and thanks to the spirits that are with us at this moment. I had this vision of me ending the prayer with "So mote it be," and then just waiting for the confused silence, and then going, "Amen," so that everybody knows the prayer is over. Because I feel like that's what would happen. Because if it's a pagan prayer, I'm ending it with "So mote it be." I'm not saying amen to that. So everyone would just be like, amen. Oh, okay, yeah. Right? All right. I just upped my Cricut machine. do it. I'll see how combative I'm feeling around that time. Like if people piss me off, then I might do it. I might be like, well, it's it makes sense for the prayer to be done by like somebody at whose house it is. And my mom, she's a devout Christian woman, but she's not like a public speaker, so she's not going to do the prayer. But I'm one of the mouthpieces in the family. If somebody needs to make an announcement or something. Last year, we couldn't do our Christmas breakfast, so I pulled together a Zoom for us. So I'm a talking piece in the family. I'm one of the talky ones. So if there's an announcement that needs to be made or something that needs to be read over the group or whatever, I would be one of the people to do it. And being that it's going to be at my mom's house, it's my house, it would be appropriate for me to say the prayer. And I was like, or I'll just ask like one of my preacher uncles or somebody to do it and just serve the food and be nice. Oh my God, they'd fight me and they know I can fight. Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting. But yeah, if I did the prayer, it would be a pagan prayer. I just got to figure out whether or not I'm like in the mood. Because I feel like if I did the pagan prayer, people would be fine. Nobody's going to do anything in the middle of prayer because my family's Christian. It doesn't really matter who we're praying to. It's a prayer, so they know, bow your heads and shut the fuck up. But I might get questions afterwards, and I might have to explain myself to some people. And I don't know if I'm in the mood to have a like Wicca 101 talk. So, Anywho. All right, so we're going to pull one more card, a support card to help us through this process, through the energies of the week, through the changes in the season, and, and the full moon. Yep, bow your heads and shut the fuck up. That's right. I can always tell when somebody did not grow up in a house with praying people, did not grow up going to church. I had this with my husband. He didn't grow up in a religious household. So if I am praying, I have to remind him not to talk. You can do anything else, okay? We pray while the church ladies are serving the food. That stuff has to happen. You can move around. You can make all kinds of noise and do things, but shut the fuck up. Don't speak when people are praying, okay? Don't speak. If you think somebody might be praying, don't speak. Wait until they're done, Don't interrupt them while they're praying to say, did you want me to be quiet while you're praying? Just shut the fuck up. But that's because I grew up in a home where if you were speaking when somebody was praying, you might get slapped in the mouth. So, not saying that was a good thing. Sure, I had a lot of problems because of it. But one thing I know how to do is to shut the fuck up when people are praying. Okay? That I know how to do. Even now, that's right. Even now, no matter what the religion, that's right. At 35 years old, I don't care who we're praying to, Buddha, and it don't matter. It doesn't matter what your religion is. Doesn't matter if we're formally in a church. Doesn't matter what the event is. Somebody says, we about to pray. Oh, bitch. I'm slumped. I'm slumped. We about to pray? Bow your head, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Okay? I will learn sign language. I will do anything, but we're not talking. Okay? I grew up with one Christian, one Muslim parent. We don't play with prayer. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. Hindu here, and that's real. Listen. Okay? And I notice it's a religious versus non-religious thing. It doesn't matter what your religion is. If you've known that Muslims, right? If you grew up religious, you know to shut up when prayer is happening. If you didn't grow up religious, you don't know that. You don't know the protocol. You're not sure what to do. Can I move this? Can I say this? Can I not do that? You don't know what to do. But it doesn't matter what your religion is. One thing I have learned about religious people is there is one universal rule when it comes to prayer, and that is everybody shut up. There should be one person praying, or there should be multiple people praying in unison. But if you are not speaking the prayer, you should not be speaking. My Catholic family would look at you in unison, and the shame would silence you far longer than the prayer time. Right? They'll look at you so hard you won't speak even after the prayer is over. Everyone will say amen, and you're just like, no, just forget it. Fuck it. Shit. I ain't even talking. You know what I'm saying? Because you would get hit. You know, and God forbid you did it in church and embarrass somebody's mama. Like, you don't have home training and you don't know to shut up in church when we praying. Oh gosh, you might lose a tooth. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Start talking in church while they praying. You have people, not even your mother, popping you in the mouth. No. So yeah, never that. Right? I feel y'all. Everybody knows. So that's how you can tell, you know, when you like get together with like non-denominational people of all different kinds or whatever, and a prayer starts, and you have somebody's like, so should we? That's the person, they didn't grow up with no religion. Slapped into next week, right? Come back next Sunday, still feel it. So, yeah, again, not condoning what we went through as children, okay? But just saying, it serves me well now in spiritual communities. I know proper protocol when it comes to prayer, rituals, things of that nature. It doesn't matter if it's Catholic, Hindu, Muslim, whatever. I generally know when to kneel, when to not, when to speak, when to not, when to wash my hands, when to not, because I grew up in that kind of environment. So close your eyes, bow your head. If you don't do it, somebody's going to say it. So just do it. Close your eyes, bow your head, and don't say nothing. It's not about you right now. All right. So we're going to pull the support card now. We have the words as wands way in the lead. So I will give it one more second. If anyone wants to throw a vote in there, I don't think it's going to change the winner at all, but in case you want, let your voice be heard. I'll give you 2 more seconds. And just a quick run through. We have the Botanica deck, which connects us with flower energy. The Herb Crafter deck connects us with herb energy for medicinal healing. The Words as Wands deck is a deck of spells and rituals. And the archetype cards help us with light and shadow work by helping us tap into different archetypes. Okay, I think all votes are in. So I'm going to end it. Baptist Church, we had to stand during the prayer. It depended. My family's AME. It would depend on the prayer and what was happening in the church at the time. Some things were standing, some things were sitting. Some things were kneeling. Not the current churches, but we've been to some churches that had like the Catholic kneeling things in the front. Catholic churches have the kneeling things because they kneel when they pray. The Baptists stand, and AMEs, I think we just sit for a lot of it. Okie dokie. So we have 65 votes. Dang. Okay. We stand or kneel depending on the moment in the Mass. Right. Some prayers are standing, some you kneel for. In AME churches, we don't really do the kneeling, so it's either standing or like for the benediction and stuff, or sitting. Like let's say the preacher might just say a prayer during the sermon. We're all just sitting listening. So sitting or standing. All right. So we're going to get into the Words as Wands deck. This deck is made by a young lady named Lauren. I don't think I know her last name. She's on Instagram as a Woman of Rivers, and she has made this really cool deck of spells and rituals. So if you know that you want to work with a certain energy, or you want to honor a certain spirit, or you want to celebrate a certain something, or you have an intention and you just don't know a spell or ritual to do to accomplish it, pulling from this deck can help. You can flip through and find what you need. Like, let's say you want to work with air, you can find cards with rituals that have to do with air, or you can do what we do, which is to let spirit simply guide us to a card that is going to support us through the process this week of tapping into the shift of the season and the full moon, this transformation that we're undergoing, and potentially this release. As we talked about, maybe needing to let some people go, and the full moon is also about release. Okay, we're working with air, as I said. Is there a rose deck? Oh, I don't know. You'd have to. I'm not like a deck connoisseur. I use like the 7 that give me the messages I need. That's it. Okay, so we are working with air this week. The power number is 5. We are calling in. Calling in. So rather than releasing, this ritual is for calling in. I'll say the words a couple of times. I know people sometimes are able to write them down. I don't know if Mariah is still here. No pressure, Mariah. I know you always end up doing it, but I don't want to make you feel like you have to. But Mariah often comes through with a recap. But I will say it a few times in case no one comments it. I encourage you to write it down. I accept my past, show up in the present, and embrace my future. Okay, good. You're here. I accept my past, show up in the present, and embrace my future. That's smart. I type way faster than I can write too. Yeah, when I'm trying to get something out fast, I'll type it first. Yeah. And that's exactly right. Mariah has quoted the incantation in the comments. So if you didn't catch it, you can write it down. I accept my past, show up in the present, and embrace my future. These simple words help us to bring back to the present. When we find ourselves ungrounded, we are often prioritizing our head over our heart. Call on the element of air to allow our mind to show up in a more helpful and balanced way. And we are talking about balance. I think that is so interesting. I never really thought of it that way. But you can use the other elements to balance the other elements. If we're trying to balance fire and water, why not work with earth and air? I love that. I love that. When we find ourselves ungrounded, we are often prioritizing our head over our heart. Call on the element of air to allow our mind to show up in a more helpful and balanced way. I really love that, because that act of grounding and calling in air to really help you see the distinction between the water and the fire and how to balance the two of them. I'm just seeing like a cross in a circle, and how the other, it's almost like all 4 have to be quite right for everything to be. So working with those other elements can help you with the ones that are out of whack. I love that. Mariah said, if you're doing inner child work or shadow work, you can write this with your non-dominant hand a few times a day. Really helps reset your brain. Oh, thanks, Mariah. I like that. On the down low, that's what Avatar: The Last Airbender was teaching. Really? I'm not a good movie person. I don't see a lot of movies. But that is very interesting. I love when movies have, like, spiritual messages. It just makes it so much easier. It hurts so much. But that's really good, Mariah. I like that a lot. Writing the incantation. That's another type of ritual that you can do. You can pair it up with this too. The movie is trash. Okay, good to know. I won't bother. I'll just take that message. Writing this incantation with your left hand or your non-dominant hand to, reprogram yourself and really set that message into your mind. I love that. Another thing that you can do is chanting. So mantra is really important for me. Chanting is really important for me. That is how I do my meditation. I don't really do silent meditation. I've been doing the silent meditation with the Sacred Woman thing because that's one of the things in the ritual. But my daily meditations, my regular meditations are japa meditation. I use mala beads to count out my mantras, and that is how I meditate. And this is the type of thing that I would repeat as a mantra. Another way to impart the vibration of this message into yourself and let it stick. And then you can also do any rituals related to working with earth and air to help balance out your fire water. I never really thought about that. Sybil's going to try that. Yeah. Is this a good deck of daily pull and morning meditation? I think it would be a lot if you did the actual spells and rituals, you know what I mean? To be doing like a spell and ritual every day. Because some of them, that one wasn't very involved, but some of them are more like, involved, where you have to like go do stuff. I think it would be good for one part of it, So like I would pull one of these cards either to get the number numerologically of the day. I would pull it to see what element to, you're definitely gonna be able to see this, to see what element to work with. You can't see it, but in the bottom, very lightly, it says working with air. So I might pull it and just not even worry about the rest of it and say, okay, today I'm going to channel air, I'm going to channel water, I'm going to connect with those energies, etc. I definitely would pull them every day for the like using the incantation as like an affirmation, but I would kind of stay away from maybe pulling a different card for daily affirmations, because I like to work with something like that for a little bit longer. I would maybe pull a card every week, and every morning and every night meditate on that affirmation so that it has time to really stick and really make a difference in your life, and you can actually see it changing your energy. I think one day with the mantra is not enough, or an affirmation is not enough. So I would do maybe like one a week for that, but then for like the number or the element, that maybe every day. Sure, today I'm working with earth, today I'm working with the number 7, etc. That's my opinion. You can obviously use the deck however you like. I did a flip through and review video. If you want to see more of it, it's not a visual deck, it's just words, but I did go through it to show you like how she broke it up with the numbers and calling in versus release, and the elements. So that video might help you decide if this is a good deck for you. All right, guys, I gotta get up at 4:30, so I gotta go to bed. So that is the message for the week, for this week, July 19th through the 25th. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can't believe there's 33 of you in here by now. Usually by this time it trickles off and it's just like the OGs. So it's really cool to have so many of you guys in here. Please make sure to like this video on your way out. Let me know that you enjoyed the message or that you just enjoyed this format of a live. And we will be back next week, Monday at 7 o'clock to do it all over again. People looking for private readings, looking for these decks, looking to become a member so you can come to the Zoom at the end of the week. All that good stuff, just go to bronxwitch.com or check the description box on this video. Buena suerte, besos y abrazos para todos, or por todos. I think it's por todos. Por todos. Good night and thank you. Good night and thank you. That's okay. You'll get it done. You'll get it done. Bye, guys. Is it para todos? Okay, yeah, I was right. Woo, thank you. Besos y abrazos para todos. Thank you, Eddie. All right. You know, I get confused with my patas and my pores sometimes. Thank you. All right, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Good night. Ashley laughs in Latina. Good night, guys. Blessed be.